terms of men, women, and children. They were all classified the same, and that was the classification that we dealt with, just as enemy soldiers. Latimer would additionally press a witness for the prosecution, Private First Class Paul Medlow. Latimer asks, as part of a cross-examination, "You did start firing into that group, didn't you?" "Yes." "You killed men, women, and children?" "Yes." "You were ordered to do so?" "Yes." "Why did you carry out that order?" "I was ordered to. And I was emotionally upset. And we were ordered to get satisfaction from this village for all the men we'd lost. They were all VC and VC sympathizers, and I still believe they were all Viet Cong and Viet Cong sympathizers. Private Dennis Conti, another witness for the prosecution, testified to what the scene looked like. "The people screamed and yelled and fell. I guess they tried to get up, too. They couldn't. That was it. The people were pretty well messed up. Lots of heads were shot off. Pieces of heads and pieces of flesh flew off the sides and arms. They were all messed up." Lieutenant Colley's counsel, George Latimer, in his attempt to defend his client, told the jury of 6 officers, Lieutenant Colley will testify he believed he was following orders to destroy all living things in the village. Lieutenant Colley states he did not feel as if he was killing humans, but rather that they were an enemy with whom one could not speak or reason. Haywood Kirkland, one of 20 veterans whose stories were included in Bloods, an oral history of the Vietnam War by black veterans, frankly discusses his training. "As soon as I hit boot camp in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, they tried to change your total personality, transform you out of that civilian mentality to a military mind. Right away, they told us not to call them Vietnamese. Call everybody. Then they told us when you go over in Vietnam, you're going to be face to face with Charlie, the Viet Cong. They were like animals or something other than human. They have no regard for life. They blow up little babies just to kill one GI. They wouldn't allow you to talk about them as if they were people. They told us they're not to be treated with any type of mercy or apprehension. That's what they engraved into you. That killer instinct. Just go away and do destruction." As a result, William Colley could comfortably say, "I didn't discriminate between individuals in the village, sir. They were all the enemy. They were all to be destroyed, sir." A telling admission, provided from cross-examination, came after Colley was asked, "How did you describe them?" "Vietnamese, VC. Which?" "Either one. I don't know, sir." "You don't know how you describe them?" "In that area, I could have used either term." The Israeli Haaretz previously reported on so-called kill zones in March 2024, when Yaniv Kubovich reported, "The Israeli army says 9,000 terrorists have been killed since the Gaza war began." Defense officials and soldiers, however, tell Haaretz that these are often civilians whose only crime was to cross an invisible line drawn by the IDF. Quoting a reserve officer who served in Gaza, "In practice, a terrorist is anyone the IDF has killed in the areas in which its forces operate." Indeed, a host of reserve and standing army commanders who have talked to Haaretz cast doubt that all so-called terrorists announced killed by the military were combatants at all. They imply that the definition of terrorist is open to a wide range of interpretation. It's quite possible that Palestinians who never held a gun in their lives were elevated to the rank of terrorist posthumously, at least by the IDF. Quoting a senior officer in Southern Command, "It's astonishing to hear the reports after every operation regarding how many terrorists were killed," he says, explaining, "You don't need to be a genius to realize that you don't have hundreds or dozens of armed men running through the streets of Khan Yunis or Jabalia fighting the IDF." The author has recently followed up on the issue of kill zones, which has apparently descended into utter lawlessness. In this long and grueling year,